Welcome back to 65. Today's episode, we'll be talking about the middle of the Cretaceous period. And today's episode, we'll be talking about Spinosaurus aegypticus and Carcharodontosaurus and Pterodactyl. Now, one sunny and brightful day for the Spinosaurus. This Spinosaurus is trying to find some food, or a swamp, or a lake to find, so it could catch up to any fish. And it found it. Now, this Spinosaur realizes that this water is way too deep. But it would be knowing to be careful. But always remember, Spinosaurus, always a wasteful animal. Once the Spinosaurus gets its prey, it's always learning to be wasteful, all the time, until scavengers will come by and get the food. Not even the Spinosaurus is paying attention. But right now, the Spinosaurus isn't lucky. The Spinosaurus slipped and down to the lake, and it decides to hunt another day. This is Spinosaurus aegypticus, a group of theropods and a family of Spinosaurids. This animal was alive during the early or to late Cretaceous. The size of this animal was 49 feet and 15 meters long. It was discovered in Morocco and Egypt. Spinosaurus is one of the most famous theropods, and is also thought to have been the largest. Unfortunately, the first and best specimen of Spinosaurus was destroyed by an Allied bombing raid on Germany during World War II. This specimen included a lower jaw and well-preserved vertebrae, with tail spines since the original discovery, Ernest Stormer. Only a few remains have been unearthed, however. A huge number of parietal remains shows that Spinosaurus was a relatively common animal in the Cretaceous period. In many ways, Spinosaurus was typical of a large theropod. However, in two areas, its skull and vertebrae, it was adaptable to other theropods, did not have the spines on the vertebrae, thought to support a vertical sail. The snout was long like that of a crocodile, with the nostril openings placed well back from the snout tip and closer to the eyes than in most theropods. The tip of the upper jaw was expanded and around relatively to the rest of the snout and the teeth. In this area, outwarded like spokies of the wheel. The teeth were rounded and cross-sections. Most theropods had overall teeth, and nails at the teeth were not stared at all. These features suggest that Spinosaurus plugged its jaws into the water and caught fish. However, it is large and powerful enough to also prey on small and medium-sized dinosaurs on land. Today, we see a pterodactyl, or a pteranodon, trying to look for food or territory to find. But sooner or later, it didn't find any, so it decided to continue on with its day. This is pterodactyl. All of you might be familiar that this is a dinosaur. But let's just remember that pterodactyl isn't a dinosaur. Just like a bird today, but this was no dinosaur. But it did live with them. It did live with dinosaurs. But this animal, or bird-like animal, is quite similar to the others, like Dimorphodon and Quetzalcoatlus and more. But let's remember that later down, we'll learn about Quetzalcoatlus in the late Cretaceous. But let's just say that this pterodactyl is part of the more and with others like birds today. Let's remember, Spinosaurus was never the largest animal around in Egypt or in Africa. This is Carcharodontosaurus, or Carcharodontosaurus, a carnosaur. Carcharodontosaurus, or shark-toothed lizard. And this animal is the much bigger size cousin of the Allosaurus, but twice as big, and even bigger than a T-Rex. This is part of the group of theropods. It was alive during the late Cretaceous, and its size was between 39 feet and 12 meters long. It was alive and discovered in North Africa. Carcharodontosaurus was a giant African allosaurid theropod, named in 1931. Its stertid teeth resembles those of a carcharodon, the great white shark, hence of the dinosaur's name, Carcharodontosaurus. Carcharodontosaurus had taller at the back, then at the front of its snout. A recently discovered particle skull of Carcharodontosaurus was more than 5 and 4.5 feet, 1.6 meters long. Browny ridges of the top of its skull overhang the eyes and bones. On the sides of its skull had a distinctive winged texture using its massive jaws and long teeth. Carcharodontosaurus may have preyed on sauropods and other dinosaurs. As we see climate change ahead for Africa, and both of these animals met each other, but before the climate changed, these two never met each other at all until this very day. After the battle between Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, the Carcharodontosaurus did something to the Spinosaurus' sail. As we can see, on the sail, it turns out it was bitten in half, and also had teeth marks of Carcharodontosaurus. And for the Spinosaurus, it wouldn't be his lucky day, in that after climate changed again, after that, the world's greatest predator disappeared off the face of the earth.